Alright, welcome everybody. It is Bazzy from Reddit Heroes. After a long time, I have been very busy. I am back with yet another Reddit Heroes MVP video, and I'm pretty excited about this. We just had a random spin, and I just like the war. We did top to bottom really good. I just wanted to highlight a bunch of people, including, not one, not two, but three Town Hall 10 versus Town Hall 10 triples. So right at the top of the map, we have our Town Hall 10, this is the last Zephyr, going against their Town Hall 11. He gets a 68%, 2-star, wonderful job for him. Then our Town Hall 11 dips down and cleans off the Town Hall 10s. We don't manage to get the 3-star in a couple, but then the Town Hall 10's 3 stars start occurring. So let's first take a look at Rotaz's attack. Now, I want to point out that this base is a base that I think is particularly good for the Bowler Witch style attack. And I want to show you why here. Suppose he manages to get his bowlers and his king up through this main compartment. Should be relatively easily to send one set of witches down this side and send one set of witches down this side. But if he gets everything else through that main compartment, then the bowlers are going to be effectively taking out that chunk, and they're going to be effectively taking out that chunk. And you can get absolutely everything going through the center with the bowlers and the queen just taking everything out. So I think this is a base that is really susceptible to this particular style of attack, and let's see how he does at actually executing that. Alright, so he's going to drop the bowlers and the witch in the one corner, and the bowlers and the witches in the other corner, drops the two different golems in, and this side is pretty easy to funnel, so as long as he's just a little bit patient, he can put the king and the queen nice and quick right down. The golem's going to come in and start tanking on the infernos are going to tank on the golems, which doesn't matter at all. And look at that, all of the bowlers really nicely going into the center. He's going to have a poison hitting there for the CC, and the queen is going to walk into the same poison, which is nice. He's got the rage. Everything is coming in. Look how many bowlers he has, and he's actually a little bit delayed on the jump, but I don't mind it. It means that we can get the CC and the queen, which is in that compartment, gets everything cleared on the adjacent ones, and then it comes into the center. And then I really want to push pause here for just a moment, just to emphasize every single bowler and the heroes and everything is entirely constrained within this one central compartment, so he can hit the spell on it, and it's just going to take everything else around it, including that Inferno Tower in a moment. As, meanwhile, the bowlers and the witches are cleaning along the two different sides. So I thought it was just a really well-executed attack, and pretty much by this point, as soon as that maybe Inferno goes down, there it goes, and there goes the last expose. I think it's just a matter of running out the clock. So let's hit that good old 4 times, and good job to Rotaz at a wonderful attack. I think it's just a good idea to be keeping your eyes open and seeing what kind of Town Hall 10 bases are susceptible to what particular type of attack, and I think he did a really good job of that. Alright, next up is technically me, but I'm going to give a lot of the credit to Rotaz here, who did the plan, but a couple things didn't work out. In particular, actually, what didn't work out was a triple air skelly right near the end that just ate absolutely everything of Rotaz's. So I brought an extra poison, did a couple little tweaks, and what I want to note about this base is that there are 2 different single target Infernos. So it's sort of okay if they target the golems in the dying stages of the golems going in while the bowlers are all raged up taking everything out, because there's these 2 different air defenses hanging on the outside. So if we can get those as well as some Inferno Towers, then we're going to be golden for the air portion of this gobolaloon. So rage on my bowlers, they're going to take a whole bunch of stuff out. There goes down the 1 Inferno Tower, the poison on the CC, spring traps get some things. I like the king jumping in, and I have to hit the boost on the king quickly because it's going to die fast to that Inferno Tower. But now we've managed to cross the map. The queen is down, both Infernos down, 2 air defenses down. The only thing bad about it is I really should have got the air raid portion going down quicker. Actually, something I've noticed has been a bit of a problem for us. Our air raids are starting too late. Anyways, the air raids are coming in. We've got a bunch of haste. They just got 1 single air defense. The queen was nice, even came down off on the left here and picked up just 1 extra air defense, which made it even more of an overkill. I think it would have been fine without that, but we've got 4 different hastes and a rage, just a ton of spells to be able to do it. I knew there was a Tesla farm down here, so you'll notice that I hasted in a few more to take out those Teslas. The ground expo in the corner doesn't really do anything. And there come the air skeletons, and I've got the scout ahead of time. I know they're there. My hound is still up, and I can put the poison down in my last haste. And look at that, we've got the Hound still up. It's going to be a big overkill, and just a matter of running out the clock on this one. So good job to, well, I think most of the credit goes to Rotaz, but a little bit to me as well for the execution points. Okay, what do we have next? 3 different Town Hall 10 triples, 3 very different attacks. This is going to be Lewis, who's been doing a ton of organization for us for the MCLW Wars. Shout out to him. And he's going to come old school for Ready Heroes. You know I like my Queen walking vabos, but we don't really do it in this new meta. And so this is what Lewis is going to be doing. I really like that. He just needs to get the Valkyries in, and it's so good in this base, because this base has those single target Infernos, and they just don't really do all that much to Valkyries. So it's a really good one, and he's got the upgraded Valkyries, and I like it. So he begins with his Queen Walk, going to be coming along. Looks like he might get into a little bit of trouble with the air defense here, which is interesting, but he's going to pull the single hog in to get the lure, and it looks like the Queen is going to sit there. There's nothing on her. Doesn't need to hit the rage, doesn't need to hit the boost. The Queen's just going to come in. And if it wasn't for the air defense, this would be perfect. But the double poison runway, taking out the CC without having to use spells and without having to use the ability, I really like that. I just wish we were able to keep the healers alive. But you know what? I don't really mind. So he's got this funnel. Notice he's going to start taking the king in on the other side. There's nothing else. All of these Valkyries are going to clump together and go right into the center, as are going to the bowlers. Everything's going to charge through in a moment. He's going to hit that rage, and he has 5 spells to destroy this particular case. The Queen walks over, although the Queen is alive. In comes the Valkyries on the bottom here. The King is loosed up at the top, and there's this big clump right down here. I love the heal. There was a ton of Valkyries, but they'd been blasted at by the Wizard Tower. Now they have the heal, the rage, the jump. There's just so many spells. It's hard to even narrate this one. There's bombs going off. Everything's coming through. The Inferno Tower stayed up for a while, but like it doesn't actually really matter given the fact that it's a single target Inferno and it will slowly pick off those Valkyries. Hogs on the backside, we have an extra heal. The Queen is still up and is still not used her ability. Even though we've got the ground-facing Expo, in a moment she's going to pop through and go to the double cannon and the Expo, a lot of stuff that really would be targeting for Hogs. He sends his Hogs all around in a different ring and got a nice big clump of them. So kind of a bit of an awkward attack, I would say, but really effective. And I thought a good eye, particular for the use of the Valkyries and the bowlers when we have those single target Infernos, which this clan was doing for reasons a little bit beyond me. All right, carrying on. Next up, we have MG, who does a nice attack. MG is going to be taking out the number 9. Now, MG is one of our better high-level Town Hall 9s right now. And he is going to be taking out this, like, weird Town Hall 11 with, like, upgraded Teslas and an upgraded Expo and upgraded Wizard Tower. So it's, like, a really kind of heavy Town Hall 9. And he's going to be doing a gobolaloon. And I just think it's just impressive when Town Hall 9s manage to shoot up like this. It's an interesting tactic he uses. He separates his golems quite a bit. So the one golem is not going to walk into the other one. We're not going to have the transferal of this golem to get over here. But it turns out that it doesn't really matter because he's able to just to tank on some of the defenses, and the Wizard Towers take out a bunch of that. And in come the raged up bowlers on the other side of the jump. And it turns out that he's going to get the Queen, and that's all that really matters. 2 air defenses and the Queen. That's what we want out of our kill squad. We've got a lot of stuff going through. The Queen is still up. He hasn't used his King ability. Hasn't used his Queen ability. It's just like kind of a domination of a raid, even though it was a little bit unorthodox. Again, like my raid, I think you should be having the air portion going faster, but it's hard right in your moment. You're worrying about the ground phase, and even though that's when you should be getting your air phase in, it's usually just a few seconds late, but that's all right. Queen beating through the wall here is going to help out take some of these things, but the Laloon's going through. We've got a double haste, going to run them all through. The extra Hound's going to be coming in to tank it, and everything is just going to clean up. Kind of interesting what he does here off the side. He sort of trinkles in a bunch of different location loons. There's the 2 Wizard Towers. The only way this could really go bad is if all the loons clump up and those 2 Wizard Towers are both blasted, so he sort of spreads them around and they all sort of envelop the Wizard Towers. I thought it was effective, and he ends up with an unpopped Lava Hound, so good job to MG. A pretty cool attack here. All right, And I think I'm going to leave it there, although I want to give a shout out to some of our new Town Hall 9s who probably have never actually had a chance to be featured in a video. We've got Cerberus, who took out an attack and did a high-level scout, so our Town Hall 9s were clean. We've got SD Attacker, who got a 6-pack, and we got Abdul Salam, who I believe got a 6-pack. I think actually it was his first 6-pack. So just really good job with the Town Hall 9 levels, and the Town Hall 10 levels, and the Town Hall 11 levels. Oh my goodness, I believe we are ready for the RCS tournament. Let's see how that's going to go next week.